It's time to scramble up some science with eggs and acids. I'm your host, Karl, and exciting things are about to happen. On this show, I'll be taking eggs and immersing them in various acids to see what happens. We'll be observing the reactions, and I'll be explaining the science behind each one so you can learn something new with every episode. There's a whole world of amazing egg acid possibilities waiting to be explored. And if you have a combination you'd like to see in a future episode, don't be ignored. Let me know in the comments. Let's start with today's star ingredient, the egg. Our egg today is a brown chicken egg. Did you know that chicken eggs come in a variety of colors, including white, brown, blue, and green? It all depends on the breed of the chicken. They're packed with protein, vitamins, and minerals, making them a staple food for millions of people. The eggshell is made up mostly of calcium carbonate, a mineral that provides structure and protection for the egg. Calcium carbonate consists of one calcium atom, one carbon atom, and three oxygen atoms. Calcium carbonate is an important compound in many living organisms, as it's a major component in shells, skeletons, and teeth in many animals, as well as a major component in rocks and soils. Now let's move on to today's acid, 30% acetic acid. Acetic acid is a colorless liquid commonly known as vinegar. It's used in many things such as cooking, cleaning, and as a preservative. But did you know that acetic acid is also produced by bacteria in the process of fermentation? Acetic acid consists of 2 carbon atoms, 4 hydrogen atoms, and 2 oxygen atoms. Now that we've introduced our egg and acid, you're probably wondering what's going to happen when we combine them. Get ready to find out, because it's time for the experiment. I've placed a chicken egg in a 500 milliliter beaker, and I'm now going to add about 250 milliliters of 30% acetic acid. When the acid comes into contact with the eggshell, a chemical reaction begins to take place. The calcium carbonate in the eggshell reacts with the acetic acid, breaking down into calcium acetate and carbon dioxide. This reaction can be represented by the equation you see on your screen. I've started the stopwatch next to the beaker so you can see how much time is passing as the reaction takes place. I'll let you watch the time lapse in silence, and then I'll be back at the end to see what's happened to the egg. Well, it's been about 2 hours since we started the experiment, and it's time to see what's happened to the egg. I'm going to start by lightly squishing the egg with my fingers. It feels firm but delicate, and there's a gritty texture from some of the unreacted calcium carbonate. I can feel some chunks floating inside as well. When I drop the egg in a bowl, it has a pleasing bounce and jiggle to it. This is because the acetic acid has dissolved the eggshell, causing the egg to lose its structure. But the inner membrane of the egg has not dissolved like the eggshell did. This is because the proteins in the membrane are more resistant to the acetic acid than the calcium carbonate in the eggshell was. Now I'm going to cut open the egg with an X-Acto knife. Inside, I can see that it's still mostly raw, but there are some egg white chunks. The chunks inside the egg are coagulated proteins from the egg white. This occurs because the acetic acid denatures, or changes the shape of, the proteins inside the egg white, causing them to clump together. This is similar to what happens when you cook an egg on the stove. If I left the egg in there longer, it would further cook the egg. So, there you have it. Our egg has gone from a solid structured object to a rubbery, bouncy, and somewhat chunky substance, all thanks to the reaction between calcium carbonate in the eggshell and the acetic acid. I hope you enjoyed watching the reaction between the chicken egg and the acetic acid and learned something new about the science behind it. If you're ecstatic about this show, you can show your support by visiting eggsandacids.com and checking out my merchandise. I've got some great items available for you to show your love for eggs and acids. And if you want to help me get into some more exotic eggs and acids, you can support the show on Patreon. Some of the combinations I have in mind are quite expensive, and I'll need your support to bring them to life. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything, and follow me on Twitter at Eggs and Acids. This is your host Karl signing off for now. The end of this episode is just the beginning of a new extravaganza. Keep an eye out for more experiments, reactions, and science-filled fun on... Eggs and Acids.